cross drainage works. Okay, so let me share this slide. Well, could you see this slide? Could you see this slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Introductory part we had discussed in the previous lecture regarding the various types of the cross drainage works. So depending on, you see, the canal bed level, the full supply level of the canal, bed level of the drain or the river, or you can say stream, and the HFL of the river, type of this cross drainage works that are being defined, right? So if you have a canal above this drain, you have the aqueduct. Just opposite of this one is the superficies, and accordingly, if you have a siphon aqueduct, once the canal is above the drain, and opposite of this one is a siphon. I mean, the canal is below the stream. Once both are on the same level, you have the level crossing and the inlet and outlet. Okay. So these are the things that we had discussed last time. We'll discuss now the design methodology. Okay, right. So this is the example that I have shared with you. This is the cross drainage works that we had designed of the Patiala Nadi. Okay, this is a siphon aqueduct. You can see this one. Super passage, this one we had discussed. This is the canal siphon of the Nirvana branch and the SYL. So you can see here the canal is going below the bed of this Tangri river. This is close to Ambala. Once that is at the same level, you have the level crossing to Dhanauri, which is about 8 km from here. You can see the level crossing there. Once you return back to campus, you can see that level crossing. So in the level crossing, virtually you have to have regulators. Okay, you can see in this sketch, this is the drain which is coming. This is the drain, and this one is a canal, right? And both are at the same level. So what is being done is the regulator is being provided across the canal and also across the drain. And depending on how much discharge you have to take in the drain, you have to regulate that, and you can get the discharge in the drain and also in the canal. So this is the cross drainage level crossing. In the case of the inlet and outlet, one out of these two that should be very big and one should be a small. Okay, only then the inlet and outlet that is being provided. So you can say this is the canal inlet to this big stream, and this one is the outlet. How much discharge you have to take in the canal in the downstream, right? And here the regulator is being provided because you have to regulate, okay, both across this stream and also across this canal. I mean, at the head of the canal. So this is the inlet and outlet. Okay. So now this one is the Dhanauri level crossing. That one I have just shared with you. Now, if you see the alignment of the old Upper Ganga Canal, right? So old Upper Ganga Canal is having the alignment this, right? And the new canal is having the alignment this, right? And this one is a Ratmau river which is flowing, right? And here this level cross that is being provided. but level crossing is not being provided at the new structure. Okay, reason behind that one is here the river bed that is degraded, and therefore here the you see the siphon aqueduct that is being provided. However, here the level crossing is being provided. Okay. Now coming to the design consideration, there are two things that are to be crossed. Okay, one is the canal, another one is the drain. There may be crossing of the two canals also, if those canals that is having the different source of the water, I mean the different head that is available, or maybe the same source and there is some lift irrigation or the lifting of the water. In that case, there may be the crossing. The first thing that we have to see here is on the basis of the four parameters that I had discussed with you, means canal bed, canal full supply level, drain bed, and the drain HFL, right? First, we have to decide what type of the cross drainage works that is to be provided. Once you have decided, then of course the data requirement. What are the data that is required? Okay, right? And then coming to the other parameters. So first one here is the design flood for the drain. See, for the canal, what is the design discharge that is known, right? However, for the drain or the river, your discharge, okay, you can take for the 5 years, 50 years, 25 years, 100 years, or 500 years. Okay, so now the question arises is for how many return period we have to take the discharge of the drain, right? So that the design can be carried out. As far as the canal is concerned, there you have to take the design discharge. So that one is fixed, right? But in the drain, you have to decide for how many years return period you have to take the discharge. For that, here the guidelines that is given, and this is relating the canal discharge, okay, and also the drain discharge, right? Here is a implicit in the sense that you have to take the discharge corresponds to the different return period. Okay, but here this one is given. If for this much discharge range, you have to take this, right? So of course you have to do iteration. First you have to assume, then you have to check with this stat return period. Okay, so here you can see, let us say I'm taking for 15 to 30 meter cube per second discharge in the canal, right? And in the drain, let us say the discharge is more than 100, we have to take 100 years return period for the discharge computation for the drain, right, or for the river. And how we can compute that one, that is a part of the hydrology, right? So you can invoke the hydrological model for that. You can do the frequency analysis, Gumbel methods, and all those things to calculate what would be the discharge corresponds to the 100 years. Okay, so the discharge is a very important parameter. Then coming to next is, this is regarding the drain, I mean the river. Okay, in the canal, also the cross section of the canal that is being changed once that is passing through over the drain or below the drain. Okay, right? Because the canal, let us say you have a lined canal, in that case you have a trapezoidal shape, right? And if you provide that much width of the canal, in that case the structure that will be heavy. So what is being done is, once this canal that is being crossed, in that case the width of this one that is being reduced, so, and that is flumed and put in a rectangular shape, right? So before the crossing and after the crossing, this is the section, and at the location of the crossing, that is a rectangular section that is being provided for the canal, right? And likewise, and of course in this case the transitions that are being provided, that one we will discuss, right? So you can see here, this is the canal, and this one is a trapezoidal section here also, and in between you see we have provided here the rectangular section, right? And in this rectangular section, okay, In the upstream, the transition that is being provided. In the downstream, the transition is also being provided. Now coming to the drain. For drain, what should be the waterway of the drain? So this waterway of the drain, waterway of the drain, that is being decided on the basis of the parameter. In general, we assume that this river is in the resin condition, and we can get the value of the Lacy parameter. But providing that much width, that is gives the higher value. So what is being done is there is a provision of reducing this waterway. So for the alluvial bed, waterway may be taken 60 to 80 times of the P, right? So if you are getting, let us say, the 100 meter, you can take 60 meter or the 80 meter, right? Okay. But the discharge intensity that will increase here due to this contraction, in that case, you have to provide the protection accordingly. Okay. So this is regarding what should be the waterway of the drain. Okay. And as far as the waterway of the canal is concerned, as I told you, this is being contracted. Okay. And we'll discuss that. Now, once you are providing the barrels, because you see, if you have this is a river, right? Okay, and which is above the canal, and the canal is going below this. The canal is going below this, right? And this is going out. Okay, let me draw by the dashed line. So canal is below this, right? So here what is being done is the barrels are being provided. Okay, maybe in this you are providing the 2 barrels like this. Okay, I mean, if you cut this one section, you have here the 2 barrels that is being provided, 1 and 2. So here the flow here is like a pipe flow, because this is pressurized. This flow is a pipe flow. Okay, so then we have to calculate how much will be the loss here, right? So at this point in the barrel, this is the downstream, and this is the point which is in the upstream. So this is upstream, this is the downstream, right? So once the water that is entering, then you have the entry loss, right? Okay, so you can see here, this is the F1 V square 2G, right? And once this is going out, then we have the exit loss. That one we can say V square by 2G. Okay, and in between of this, because this is a pipe, like a pipe flow, we have the loss in this pipe flow, and this pipe flow loss you can get by the Darcy-Weisbach equation, right? Okay, so all this loss, this one, and this one, that is to be added, and this is given by the Unwin equation. This is so called the Unwin's equation, which is taking care of all the losses, right? So in this case, F1, F2, these are the coefficient. The value of that one is given here. VA is the approach velocity. What is the approach velocity here? VA, and V is the velocity in the barrel, right? So you can get how much is the loss. So this loss is nothing but the heading of the water. So if, let us say, the H is coming out to be about 0.2 meter, this means that here if you have a level of 100, so here the level will be 100.2, because 20 meter is the loss. Okay, so this Unwin's equation that is being used wherever you have the barrel, right? So you have the entry loss, exit loss, and the loss in the barrel. Okay, you can calculate this loss, and you can calculate how much is the heading of the water in this barrel. आपके ऑफिस में बैठे हैं? हाँ ठीक है, ओके। ये सीधे जा करके ना रूम नंबर तो पता नहीं, ये सीधे जा करके लेफ्ट राइट टर्न ले लीजिए, ठीक है, लेफ्ट में ही नाम लिखा हुआ आपके पास मेन गैलरी में। Okay, so in this way you can calculate. Then coming to the clearance or the freeboard. Okay, right? See here, in the case of the aqueduct. In the case of the aqueduct, the canal is here. This is a canal, right? And the drain is below this. So this one is a drain. This is drain, and this one is a canal, right? Okay, and HFL is this much. This is the HFL in the case of the drain. So what would be this vertical clearance? What would be this vertical clearance? What would be this vertical clearance? Or you can say the freeboard. Okay. And this is just opposite. I mean, in the case of this canal is below the drain, that is the super passage. So in that case also, this drain is a canal and this canal is a drain. In that case, what is the minimum value of this vertical clearance that we have to provide? So that is given here for the different discharges. Like you can say here the discharges, okay. And for the case of the aqueduct, these are the vertical clearance. In the case of the super passage, you have this much vertical clearance. Now you can see here the vertical clearance which is required in the case of the drain is much higher than what we are providing in the case of the canal. Say here this is about 1.5 meter, but this is just 0.6 meter. Reason behind that one is the canal is getting a very regulated discharge. However, the drain, this is unregulated discharge, uncertain, okay, and that's why you see the freeboard that is being provided more, okay. And for this freeboard for the super passage, because the canal drain is above the canal, in that case, how much that is to be provided for the different discharges that is given. So once you are designing, in that case, of course, how much the vertical clearance and all those things that you have to keep, that one you have to provide. Any question, please? Now, coming to the scour depth, I mean the protection, okay. If let us say you are providing this siphon aqueduct and such that the bed of the drain, that one you have of the concrete floor, right? I mean, you can see here, this is the drain and this is of the concrete floor, right? So in that case, in this concrete floor, in the upstream and the downstream, cutoff that are being provided, okay? So if you have a bed of this drain like this, okay, then the cutoff that is being provided in the upstream and in the downstream, okay. So what would be the value of the cutoff here? I mean the depth of the cutoff, that one we can calculate using the Lacy scour depth equation. So you know that the R that will be given by 1.35 small q square by f to the power 1 by 3, okay. And the scour that is being taken in this case 2R, and for the raft that is being taken 1.2R, okay, right. For the raft here we are taking 1.2R, and this is for the bridge pier, this is for the pier 1.2R, because here once you are providing the canal above this, right, then all the assembly that will be on pier, right. Once that is on the pier, in that case the scour depth that you have to take 2 times of the R, but in that case the raft is not being provided. Now as I share with you, in the canal, once the canal that are to be passed, okay, in that case, because as far as the loss in the drain is concerned, we are not much interested in that part, because if there is a loss, then okay, right, that is not an issue. But in the canal, we have to conserve the energy, and for the conservation of the energy, we have to provide the transition such that the losses that should be minimum, okay. So once you are contracting or expanding, in that case, right, you can get the loss using this equation, okay. So for the inlet, okay, I mean for the contraction, this is 0.1 to 0.2 times of the difference of the velocity head, and for the expansion that is 0.2 to 0.3. But there are some more charts or the tables that is given for the different type of the entry and exit. What should be value of this loss coefficient? This is so called the loss coefficient. Okay, so you can see here for the warp wall, what is the contraction coefficient and what is the expansion coefficient. Likewise for the other shape, okay, this is given, right? Okay, so maximum value in this case for the expansion is 0.75, which is given by the Ventichau, right? And for the contraction 0.3. In general, for the contraction we consider 0.2, and for the expansion we take 0.3. Okay. Now coming to the fluming of the canal and the drain, right? If you recall, I had discussed with you once the river, the canal that is being crossed, in that case, what is being done is the canal that is being contracted, I mean that is being flumed, and the cross section of the canal that is being changed. So you can see here, this is the canal which is coming, right? And here the cross section of the canal is trapezoidal, right? Going out also, the canal is trapezoidal, right? Okay, but what is being done is, because if you provide this much width, in that case the structure that will be heavy, then what is being done is this is being flumed, I mean this is being contracted. Okay, so this is the contracted part, and in this contracted part our section is a rectangular section. How much fluming that is being done here is, okay, not less than 70%. No, so it is written here not less than 70%. Okay, however in the case of the drainage channel, when the course is undefined, a fluming of the 70 to 90% may be adopted, that is for the drain. But here not stream, and the transition that is being provided in the upstream. Okay, and what would be from the downstream, what will be the water level at the different point that is being computed. So I will discuss with you types of the transitions also. Okay, right, but this warping type is considered to be the best one from the energy conservation point of view. Now I discuss this one, this subcritical transition and the computation. If you have any question, please let me know. Yes, please. कोई क्वेश्चन है तो बताइए आप. Any question? I'm waiting for your question. ये क्या कर रहे हो? हाँ? दोबारा आएगा ना? अभी तो यही चेंज किए हो ना, ये और लेन. और ठीक, वो फाइल देना मुझे. I am not getting any response from you. शर्मा जी वाला था ना, ये इसमें ये चेंज कर दो। मेरी आवाज आप तक जा भी रही है?
यस सर।
मेरी आवाज आप सुन रहे हैं तो आप लोग कुछ बोलिए ना, अदरवाइज पता चलेगा कि आप सुन ही नहीं रहे हैं। चलिए, आप कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है तो मैं आपको बताता हूं कि जो ट्रांजिशन डिजाइन होता है वो कैसे होता है। ठीक है, तो आप देखिए कि जो मैं कैनाल की प्लान ड्रॉ कर रहा हूं यहाँ पे। तो ये कैनाल का जो है सेंटर लाइन है, राइट, एंड कैनाल इज ए ट्रिपोजाइडल। तो ट्रिपोजाइडल होगी तो ये बेड लेवल आएगा, राइट, ये बेड की लाइन आएगी, राइट, और एक जो है इसकी वाटर लाइन आएगी, ये है। ओके, अगर इसको सेक्शन हम ड्रॉ करें यहाँ पे तो ये इसकी बेड विड्थ हो गई और ये आपका जो है ये सेक्शन बन गया, राइट। तो ये वाटर लेवल आपकी यहाँ पे आ गई, ये वाटर लेवल यहाँ पे आ गई। तो ये आपका क्रॉस सेक्शन। लेकिन जब हम किसी ड्रेन के साथ इसको क्रॉस करते हैं, मान लीजिए कि हमें ये ड्रेन को क्रॉस करनी है, राइट, ओके, तो उस केस में ये पूरी सेक्शन को ऑल थ्रू रन नहीं करते क्योंकि ये कॉस्टली अफेयर हो जाता है। तो उस केस में क्या करते हैं कि इसको जो है रेक्टेंगुलर शेप में चेंज कर देते हैं। तो ये हमारा रेक्टेंगुलर शेप हो जाएगा। मान लीजिए कि हमने इसको इतना ये ट्रफ प्रोवाइड कर दिया जिसको हम कहते हैं ट्रफ, राइट, दिस वन इज ए ट्रफ, ओके। और यहां तक जो है हमारा जो है ये क्रॉस ड्रेनेज वर्क का वर्क है। नाउ दिस इज बीन joined suitably with the existing one, right? So let us say आपका ट्रांजिशन जो है यहाँ से शुरू हो रहा है and the flow is going like this. Let us say flow is in this direction. Then you have to provide here a transition. तो ये बेड जो है आपको यहाँ पे मिलेगा, वाटर लेवल आपको ऐसे मिलेगा। तो दिस तो ये फ्लूम पार्ट है ना। तो इसको जो है इसकी बेड को यूं ज्वाइन किया, इसको यहाँ पे ज्वाइन किया, इसका सेंटर भी लग रहा है, क्या हुआ? इसका साइन भी और वो तो रहेगा। हाँ, वो सब रहेगा, बस वो चीज। तो यहाँ से ये ट्रांजिशन शुरू होगा, ये ऐसे मिलेगा। उसी तरीके से यहाँ पे ये रिवर्स कर्व में मिलेगा और ये जो है फिर रिवर्स कर्व में ये मिलेगा। तो ये वाला पोर्शन जो है इसके यहाँ से ट्रांजिशन शुरू हो रहा है, तो ये होगा और ये ऐसे होगी, वार्पिंग ऑफ द वॉल। ये यहाँ पे मिलेगा, ये ऐसे मिलेगा। तो ये आपका ट्रांजिशन, राइट। तो ये दिस इज द कॉन्ट्रैक्शन ट्रांजिशन and this one is the expansion transition, right? Now, what would be the length of the transition in the upstream and the downstream? I discuss with you later. But first, let us talk about the computation part, okay? How we have to proceed with the computation, right? So let us say this is the section 1, this one is the section 2, this one is a section 3, this one is a section 4, right? Now here in the downstream, what is the bed level? Okay, and what is the water level, this is known to us. Now you have to compute the bed level here and the water level here, right? Okay. So virtually you have to apply the Bernoulli equation at this section 1 and 2, okay, right? And you have to compute the bed level and the water surface level. I mean the depth of the flow. Now you have the bed level, also you have to compute, and depth of the flow also you have to compute. So you can't do that one by the Bernoulli equation. One you have to freeze, right? So what you can do is you can take a plain bed here, or what you can do is you can take whatever the depth of the flow you have here, you can say that take same depth of the flow here also, and then you can get here what is the bed level. So you have to apply the Bernoulli equation at 1 and 2. So there are various options here. One option is we have to kept, let us say, the depth of the flow same in the transition, right? Same depth of the flow we have to keep in the transition, then we can get the bed level. Okay, so bed level we can get with the keeping the same depth of the flow, or you see we can take the same bed level and you can compute what is the depth of the flow. This is also computed, let us say the specific energy at 1 and 2 we are keeping the same. In that way also you can, right? So you have to apply the Bernoulli equation 1 and 2 and you have to get it. Then you have to apply the Bernoulli equation between 2 and 3, and again you have to fix here what is the bed and what is the water level, right? And in this case the loss you have to compute by the Manning equation, and you know that in the Manning equation you see this HF S, that is the loss per unit length. I mean you have this V 1 by N R to the power 2 by 3, and this is the loss divided by L to the power 1 by 2. So you can get the value of the HF here of the loss, and in that way you have to calculate here what is the depth of the flow and what is the bed level. Then you have come to the next section, that is section 4. You have to apply the Bernoulli equation at 3 and 4, and then you have to consider what is the transitional loss, right? And you have to fix it. In that way, okay, this is being fixed. What is the bed level, what is the depth of the flow you are getting, right? That will be transferred from the downstream to the upstream, right? Now coming to the transition here, one transition we had discussed, right? But now we'll discuss the equation that is developed by our own faculty, Vittal, Professor Vittal, right? And in that case, what will be the transition length here? L, right? The equation that is given for the L, okay? And for any section here, right? What is the side slope? What is the side slope? That one also the equation that is given, right? Because here you have a trapezoidal section, the side slope here is known. This one is a vertical, here the side slope is 0, okay? So we'll discuss here the Vittal and Chiranjeevi equation. So see here, this M naught is the side slope at the end of the transition, right? You can get the value of the N. N is not Manning coefficient, this is just a parameter. Then you can calculate the L. So L in this case is of course the bed width difference, okay, multiply by 2.65 plus this, right? Okay. And for any distance you can get the value of the B. I mean what is the bed width, and at any distance you can get the value of the side slope, that is M. So your transition in this case you can see here, the transition here is the B1, here is the B2, and this one is the distance, any distance X, okay? And what is the value of the B you can compute here, okay? And at any section, if you cut this section, in that case, that is a trapezoidal section and having a slope of 1:m, right? So what is the value of the M you can get from the equation? So this subcritical transition that is being designed with the Vittal and Chiranjeevi method, This is well documented, right? You can do the design using this method. Then coming to the safe exit gradient, okay, so depending on type of the soil, the safe exit gradient that is being taken, but where the safe exit gradient that is coming in picture, I'll let you know, okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, this method is true for all types of transitions.
Yes, once you have transition from rectangular to trapezoidal, okay, both in the contraction and expansion. From rectangular to trapezoidal or trapezoidal to rectangle, not to the other shape. Okay. Then safe exit gradient, I will tell you, this is the allowable value of the safe exit gradient. Okay. Now, the worst loading condition. See, if you have a aqueduct, okay, so in the case of the aqueduct, you have the canal. So canal is here, right, and your drain is here. This is the drain. Now, once you are designing the floor of this canal, what would be the worst condition? The worst condition will be you have the full load on the canal. I mean, this is flowing at the full supply level, okay, and this water is not touching to this, right? So in the case of the aqueduct, that will not touch. So in the case of the aqueduct, the worst condition here is once the canal that is full. So here in that case, the load that will act only in the downward direction, okay. But if this happens to be a siphon aqueduct, means that here the water level is coming here of the drain, okay, water level is coming here of the drain, and this is the siphon aqueduct. In that case, this slab is subjected to the uplift pressure, okay, and that second condition, which is the worst condition, is there is no water in this canal, okay, no water in this canal. I mean, this is not at the full supply level, and we have the HFL level in the drain. Only then we have the uplift here, right? And this will be the force acting in the upward direction, right? So this slab here, this is to be designed both way. I mean, the force acting from the top is the one condition. This is the one worst condition, and second one is once the canal is dry and you have the full water in the drain, okay. So such conditions that are written here, okay, written here, and that is written here, right? But in meantime, once you are designing, let us say, the slab of this raft of drain, okay, in that case, you have to check the groundwater, okay. What is the groundwater table and this ground, because what is being done is, in the case of, listen carefully, in the case of the siphon or in the case of the siphon aqueduct, what is being done is this bed is depressed so that more passage will be provided, okay. So once that will be depressed, in that case, the groundwater table, okay, due to the groundwater table, the uplift force that will act, okay. So of course, this floor that is to be checked under that condition. I hope you might have understood, okay. So in the case of the siphon, in the case of the siphon aqueduct, okay, the bed of the drain and the canal, okay, that is being depressed, and that's why this groundwater table is active. So that is to be checked, okay. I have discussed this worst condition for the design. This is from the structural part. You have to provide this information to the structural engineer so that he can design this slab accordingly. This one also I have discussed. This is with the uplift due to the groundwater table. Okay. Now, just to visualize, say let me draw here The drain is this in the plan. And let us take, I'm taking the example of the Sulani Aqueduct. So this one is the Sulani River. This is Sulani River. And this is a crossing of the canal. So let us say the canal is coming like this, right? And the floor of this aqueduct, okay, right, of the drain, right, that is being provided raft. So raft foundation that is being provided. So you have the raft foundation, let us say this much, right? So this is the raft foundation that is being provided for the drain, right, with the suitable cutoff in the upstream and the downstream. Now this canal which is flowing like this, okay, because let us say this is a unlined canal, even that is a lined canal, then there is always a joint, okay. Now let us say this is the unlined canal, just to understand it. So this floor of this drain, thickness of that one, I mean how much of cliff that is acting, that is not decided on the basis of the just only on the what is the groundwater and all those things. That is also decided on the basis of the seepage from the canal. So if you see, let us say this is the seepage point, okay, from the canal. So what we consider that this, of course, if you are doing a mathematical modeling, you have to do a 3D seepage analysis here. But from the design point of view and from the simplification point of view, what we consider that from here the water is going down, right, then coming here, and then that is coming out. So that the exit point is this. So what is the total length of the travel? Okay, the total length of the travel is from the canal bed downward to the canal to the bed of the raft of the drain, then this lateral distance, and then along the center line of the first bay, right? So you can see here, this is A to B and B to C, okay, and A to A, that is going down. So you can say the length here is A to A, फिर A dash to A dash to B lateral, okay, and then B to C, okay. And how much is the head difference? Head difference is whatever the water level here the canal is. So this H is the full supply of the canal minus the bed level of the drain, right? And in that case, we have to check this one for the floor thickness point of view, from the exit gradient point of view, right? So I think you might have understood this, right? So you have to follow the seepage line and you have to do accordingly. Then once you are providing some expansion joints or the construction joints, so these are the water structures, right? And in that water structure, there should not be any seepage. So in that case, what is being done is, in that joints, the water stops are being provided, okay? So this water stops, that may be in terms of the rubber water seal, that may be metal water sheet, or that may be the PVC strips also, okay? So now you can see a standard PVC water stop here. ये आपको ये जो चीज है ये आपको स्ट्रिप में मिलती है, जैसे हमारा ये टेप होता है उसी तरह से ये स्ट्रिप में आती है, एक रोल में आता है, ओके? और से आपने ये कंस्ट्रक्शन कर दिया किसी भी स्ट्रक्चर में, कोई स्ट्रक्चर में आपने ये कंस्ट्रक्शन कर दिया, राइट, और इधर करना है, तो क्या करते हैं कि ये स्ट्रिप जो है, ये स्ट्रिप आधा इसमें, आधा स्ट्रिप्स इसमें डाल दिया, ये पूरी स्ट्रिप्स का आधा इसके अंदर चला गया, राइट, आधा इसमें चला गया, ये वाली स्ट्रिप्स, राइट। तो जब इसको आप करेंगे कंस्ट्रक्शन, राइट, तो इसमें जो है आपका इस कंस्ट्रक्शन में आप यहाँ पे जो भी आपको जॉइंट्स देनी है वो जॉइंट्स दे करके फिर आप ये कंप्लीट करेंगे। तो ये जो सील पड़ गई यहाँ पे, दिस इज द वाटर स्टॉप्स, ये आपको वाटर को इससे पास होने में रोकती है। इन मीन टाइम अगर मान लीजिएगा आपके एक्सपेंशन जॉइंट्स हैं तो इतना ये जो भी एक्सपेंशन है कंक्रीट का या कंस्ट्रक्शन है, that gap is taken care of, and there is no also leakage of the water, right? So that water stops that are being provided. Okay, तो मैं आपको देखिए एक प्लान है इसमें, आई डोंट नो वेदर यू कैन विजुअलाइज और नॉट, डैम का केस है, राइट? और देखिए यहाँ पे ये अप स्ट्रीम फेस ऑफ द डैम है, ये फ्लो डायरेक्शन है, राइट? और यहाँ पे जो है आपके ये कॉन्ट्रैक्शन जॉइंट्स यहाँ पे प्रोवाइड किए गए हैं, तो ये वाटर स्टॉप्स डिफरेंट लेयर्स में इसको प्रोवाइड की गई है, राइट? तो जहां पे भी आपको वाटर सरफेस लाइन होती है, जहां पे भी लीकेज की इश्यू है, वहां पे वाटर स्टॉप्स प्रोवाइड किए, उसी का डिटेलिंग आपको दिया हुआ है। ये वाटर स्टेप्स जो हैं आपको प्रोवाइड किए गए हैं। Once we are providing such type of the structure, your wall that is of the very high, and that is to be designed as a retaining wall. तो जब आप रिटेनिंग वॉल की तरह इसको डिजाइन करते हैं वॉल को, तो उस केस में वीप होल का प्रोविजन बहुत जरूरी है, ताकि आपको पोर प्रेशर जो है, जो वाटर प्रेशर है बिहाइंड द वॉल, वो जो है आपका जनरेट ना हो, राइट? तो इन जनरल जो IS कोड में दिया हुआ है, 4 इंच की PVC पाइप लगा दीजिए, है ना? 1 से 1.5 मीटर की उसकी स्पेसिंग जो है आपको प्रोवाइड की जाती है। इसमें इस चीज का बहुत जरूरी ख्याल रखना चाहिए कि जब हमने वीप होल प्रोवाइड कर दिया तो उसके पीछे जो है फिल्टर प्रोवाइड करें। लूज प्रोटेक्शन दैट रिमेन्स टू द सेम एज वी हैव डिस्कस इन द बैराज, यानी CC ब्लॉक्स प्रोवाइड कर दिए, लॉन्चिंग एप्रन प्रोवाइड कर दिए। ओके, the launching apron design, that one we have already discussed, so that is repeated here. I am not going to repeat here what is the design of the launching apron. So this is all about the cross drainage works, okay, design of the cross drainage works. And again I want to tell you, you must do this exercise of the design of the cross drainage works on the basis of the methodology that we have discussed. Now there would be one, this is the one announcement, there would be one announced quiz on Friday, right, in the tutorial class at 11 o'clock, right? This will be a quiz and that will cover all the syllabus, right? Okay, so that may be a multiple choice question, or that may be a short question, right? Okay, short question, of course, here that will be not possible, so we have to go with the multiple answer only, right? Okay, so on Friday at 11 o'clock, I'm not going to write any, okay, otherwise, okay, I will just for the record, I will write an email to all of you, okay, so covering whole the syllabus. In the remaining lectures, we'll discuss little bit about the hydropower projects, okay, right? Because the 1 or 2 lectures are not sufficient, but we'll try to cover only the broad aspect, okay? So if you have any question, please let me know.
सर और कोई ट्यूटोरियल नहीं है?
नहीं, ट्यूटोरियल मैं आपको लोड करूंगा, ट्यूटोरियल मैं लोड करूंगा, आज कल में लोड करूंगा।
ओके सर,
ओके, थैंक यू।